Me Wanawanga Front Bum Mega Wenka.
You big green chunk of sentient space snot. I find it very upsetting that you will not like or prescribe to the goddamn miniature nerd space thing. Pew!
Welcome back to another round of Miniature Dork Universe, where a combination of male pattern baldness, devotion to hobby geekiness, glue and paint fumes, bad language, OCD, all combine to form a congealed blob of gaming miniature success stories, and in some cases a little bit of disappointment and disapproval. So what brings me here today is not one project or method in particular, just a little bit of an update of where this Miniature Dork Universe is going to be going in the next little while. I'm just on the verge of a 3-week summer vacation, so I thought I would just let you all in on what to expect in the near future when I get back, after a brief pause in the excitement or disappointment, depending on which side of the fence you are sitting. So, I think the first video I'll get to when I get back and get these done are these 15 millimeter, sorry, not 15, these are 12 millimeter. 12 millimeter Germans painted up for the MTO theater in Italy. So they're kind of interesting in that they're wearing bits and pieces of surplus Africa Corps equipment along with their standard European stuff and some uniform pieces made with captured Italian camouflage fabric. So these guys are a little bit different than in other theaters, and so I'm going to try and make them specific to this this sort of period that I'm going to be doing in 12 millimeter playing O group. So that'll be coming up, and it'll sort of be a companion video to the one I did on 12 millimeter American. So you have that to look forward to. And while we're on 12 millimeter, coming up will be a 12 millimeter Sturmgeschütz sort of half-ass review, build, and painting for those of you that are OCD like me and want to put on little bits of stowage and open up loader hatches and add smoke dischargers and all that other stuff. There's going to be more stowage added, crews added. There's a few small issues with the kit, and speaking of small, obviously this kit is tiny. So some people may be like, why do you even give a shit about some of these things? But you know what? It's just kind of cool when it's all there. One of the bigger issues with this kit is the loader hatch is oriented in the wrong direction. It's opening sort of, yeah, not front to back, but side to side. And that side to side hatch was the later model that had like the little remote machine gun turret. But this tank is sort of like an earlier G model with the bolt-on armor. Yeah, and so the hatch is a little different. It's not too hard to change around, and it's totally not necessary. You know what I mean? I'm just being, again, an OCD freak, but you know, if that kind of stuff, those little details, you know, kind of float your boat like they float mine, then you will learn how to do such things and maybe say a few bad words and punch a few inanimate objects. As long as they're non-sentient, it should be all right. And then I'll be continuing on with some of my Pacific stuff, which may help some of you out in the near future when they start releasing some of the Flames of War Pacific things in 15 mil. Apparently they've been delayed or something. But there's also a Pacific version of Battle Group. So if you're doing that, I'll be showing you how I pimp up some of these MDF jungle kits. And I'll probably have a few more jungle terrain pieces that are sort of companions with the one I already did on palm trees. In this case, you know, I've added a tile roof to it. These buildings are going to be more I'm doing the Dutch East Indies, so what is modern day Indonesia. So I'm sort of changing the buildings and sort of Indonesia-ing them up, if that's a word. Yeah. And I'm also going to be using Indonesian horror movies as a sort of guide to kind of darken these things up and make them look a little creepy. The way, I don't want my miniature Indonesian battlefield to look like Bali or some vacation land, which it could easily be in this part of the world. I want to make it look kind of deep, dark, rainforest, jungly place where bad stuff happens. And so there's a variety of great Indonesian horror movies where they are set in the jungle. So I'm kind of using that as my palette, if you will. So there'll be that coming up. And I'll continue on also with the Pacific Indonesian or Dutch East Indies campaign. I'll show you how I do planes and how I make the clear bases for them and how I do my magnetizing. So these are in the midst of a painting session, so they have some pretty stark and maybe crappy looking washes on. But I will be showing you not so much, well actually no, I am showing the painting of these. I do have video footage of how I paint my planes, but more importantly you'll be seeing how I do my aircraft bases and the clear plastic propeller shaft, sort of to make it look like it's flying. Yeah, so that'll be kind of fun. These are two Japanese Ki-43 fighters, very nice looking planes. So that will be in the near future on the list. And then at some point I'm going to start talking about the Crossfire rules and how I sort of modify them. I'll just throw a couple Crossfire pieces down just for fun. So I'll stick with, I probably won't stick with the Pacific Theater. I have a bunch of Crossfire stuff for Normandy, like the late Normandy sort of breakout period with the Canadian 4th Armored Division. But I may talk about how I differ with my basing using some of these Pacific examples. Crossfire is a really good game because it doesn't have sort of set game terms. However, the rules have been the same since the early 90s when they first came out with no sort of revisions, and I've sort of revised them myself over the years, just trying to make them a bit more realistic. I think the initial rules sort of concentrated around sort of long-range firefights, and well, the name of the game even Crossfire. And really, I think what World War II infantry fighting was more about, like the firefight for sure, but the firefight was more to pin an enemy down than to decisively kill him. So in the rules, there's a lot of like these sort of long-range firefight decisive kills. I've sort of changed the rules so that the game is more about fire and maneuver and close combat to destroy the enemies. So a lot of people don't like the close combat sort of portion of those rules, but I think it's even better. It's fast, it's brutal, and things are decided quickly. So I've added my own rules around things like covering fire and using smoke and things like that, using artillery barrages. So I'll show a few videos like that. Mark from House of Hangst Comics made some comment about wanting to see, some of my game mechanics, and in a way I'm kind of nervous to do this kind of stuff on video because especially like look at his stuff, it's great. Mine's gonna be like, and then the guy moved over here and this guy died. Like, I don't know, I'll try my best anyway. I did say at some point in one of my videos that if you wanted to see something, I would try and get it out there for you. And when he sort of made a sort of indirect, maybe you could show us some of this, I was kind of like, I don't really do it, but maybe I'll try it. Well, not maybe, I will. So look forward to it. I'll do my best. So that's coming up in the near future too. So that will be sort of centered around Crossfire. And eventually, when I get some of this O group stuff painted up. I'll do some, after action report things with O Group as well. But I haven't even really played the game yet. I've just read over the rules and watched other people online playing the game. And, I've recently moved here too, so hopefully I'll find someone that can demo this stuff with me. It'll be easier to handle the camera work and things like that. So that's about it. I just thought I'd let you know what's coming up, and that I'm not disappearing for good. I'm just disappearing for a few weeks, going to Poland, and looking forward to it. So until next time, keep on painting and sniffing glue fumes, and we'll talk in the near future. Hi, buddy. Hi, Tony. How's it going, man? Tony.